Hello everyone, I'm Sharpedo43 once again, bringing you all a Wi-Fi battle in the LU tier once again. My opponent for this battle is going to be TickleMeChad once again. He was asking for a rematch, so I was like, sure, let's do it. And I'm going to be using this team, which is a team that you guys I'm pretty sure you're familiar with. It was a team that I used against Danicky like way back in the early Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon days. I wanted to try it again just to see how I'd fare this time around, now that the meta's changed a little bit more. There's been a few changes here and there in every tier and whatnot. So I wanted to see how good I would do and whatnot. So, looking at Chad's team, one of the things I'm afraid of is the Victini, obviously, and the, what's it called? Azumarill. Because Azumarill can belly drum in my face, and if that's not the Z move user, it's still a belly drum Azumarill, and the Victini is a Victini with Z Celebrate, possibly. So, obviously, I'm going into this battle with the possibility of getting blown the flip back, so which I'm gonna try to prevent, obviously, because I don't want to have to lose after so many losses right now. Because if you guys haven't seen my previous battles, I've been losing way too many battles at this point. You know that I don't like losing too many battles. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna lead off with Tapu Koko. He's gonna lead off with Landers T. I switch out because I do not want to risk the possibility of this thing, Landers T being choice scarfed and whatnot. So I go straight into my own Landers T. If he goes for Hidden Power Ice predicting my switch, then good for him. But the good news is that for me, he actually ends up going for the Earthquake, which definitely gives me the idea that it's definitely Choice Scarf, because why else would he stay in on a Tapu Koko? Knowing that Tapu Koko has naturally higher speed than Landers T, it's probably because it's Scarfed, so yeah. So this allows me to go for Stealth Rocks. He hard switches into Azumarill here, and I was like, okay, I do not want to take a Waterfall on this thing. I know I'm not going to KO it with Earthquake, so I'm going to go straight into Kartana here. And what he ends up doing is actually predicting my switch and actually going for Superpower, which is like, oh, damn. I did not see him coming with that, actually. Like, I did not see that coming, in all honesty. Like, I didn't think he'd actually predict me to this early in the match. So I was like, oh, damn. This guy actually means business. So what I do right away is go straight into Tapu Koko, scare him out. I think here I try to predict him going into Landers T. He ends up going into Ferrothorn instead. And what I do after this Hidden Power Ice is go straight for the taunt, because I do not want this Ferrothorn getting any hazards up as I switch out. Instead, I want to prevent him from getting any hazards up, and then I switch out. And I'm not going to pivot here because I do not have Volt Switch on this Tapu Koko, so I have to switch out. I go back into Ferrothorn here, or should I say go into Ferrothorn for the first time. And then I think here's where I try to get my, actually I don't try to set up anything. I think what I try to do here is actually, switch out, because this is actually a double switch. I switched into Ferrothorn, but he went into Mega Pidgeot. Yeah, this is Mega Pidgeot, obviously. So I'm forced to switch out. I do not want to take a Heat Wave from this thing, because I know these things carry Heat Wave, so I'm going to go straight into Latios. It does outspeed it because it's a Choice Scarf Latios for some random ass reason. So I'm going to go straight for the Psyshock here, because I do not want to risk him going straight into Tapu Koko. I was going to go for Draco, but I did not want to risk it. So here he ends up going for the switching to Ferrothorn here. Eats up that Psyshock like nothing. And what I'm going to do here now is go out and go straight into Ferrothorn again. The reason why was because I wanted to knock off its item. Not to mention, I also wanted to see if I can leech it as well afterwards, like predict on a switch. But what he ends up doing is switching out straight up. I honestly thought he would go for Stealth Rocks. That's why I went for Knockoff right here. But he ends up switching into Victini, which is like, oh damn, good thing I actually went for Knockoff. And this actually reveals to me that it's not even a Z celebrating Victini, because it had leftovers instead, which is actually really, really good for me. Because now I don't have to worry about it setting up on me, at least to a critical level, where I won't be able to do anything. So yeah, here I go into Landers T. He's going to go for V-Create. As you can see, it's speed, defense, and special defense drop. So at the time, I wasn't aware of this, and so because I went for U-turn right here, I was surprised I outsped it, and I was also surprised that despite U-turn not being stab on Landers T and this Landers T being defensive rather than offensive, it actually managed to KO the Victini. So as I went for U-turn, I just went back into Tapu Koko just to see what he wants to try to go for. I felt like Tapu Koko was my best switch-in, given that he has now the switch advantage. And he is now, he decides to go into Landers T, which is actually good because now he can U-turn, predicting me to switch out. And that's exactly what I do. I switch out, and I think here's where I decide to go back into Landers T, which was kind of risky, but I didn't want my Ferrothorn to take too much damage from the Earthquake. But he ends up going for Defog here. I thought he was gonna actually go for the Earthquake, but he actually ends up going for Defog. And because here he's gonna switch out. I'm gonna go straight for the Stealth Rocks once again, because like I said, I was actually convinced at this point that this Landorus was scarfed, and this only confirmed it even further, because if he had Hidden Power Ice on that Landorus, he probably would have gone for it right there as I tried getting my Stealth Rocks up, knowing that I could probably try to set up Stealth Rocks again. But he didn't know that I was going to set them up again, so as a result he ends up going into Azumarill, which I cannot just simply switch out nowadays. So what I'm going to do here is stay in, go for Earthquake, just get some chip damage, and I get a crit, which is kind of funny. And he just goes for the Liquidation. I do not KO the Azumarill, unfortunately, not even a crit would have done it. And he just retaliates with a Liquidation, which KOs my Landorus, which is unfortunate, but at least he got its rocks up. Now here I go into Greninja because I wanted to go for Dark Pulse, just get the Battle Bond going and whatnot. But he's going to go straight into Landorus, which is, not going to lie, it's actually kind of ingenious, because this literally prevents me from going for the, for me getting the Battle Bond, like just barely, because I wasn't able to KO this dang Landorus. If I was able to KO it, I would have gotten the Battle Bond hands down. But here, what I do now, because I didn't KO the Landorus, was go straight into Ferrothorn, because I still am convinced that that Landorus was Choice Scarf. So if he goes for Earthquake, I can take it okay. If it goes for U-turn, it dies to Iron Barbs. And that's exactly what happened. Now he's going to go into this thing, the Mega Pidgeot, and I'm going to be forced to switch out. I'm going to go straight into Latios, reason being that he could possibly go for Heat Wave, and I do not want to lose Ferrothorn right now, because it's kind of my answer to the Tapu Koko right now. He does predict me to switch out, and he actually ends up going for the Hurricane instead. And even worse, I actually mispredict and go for Hidden Power Fire, expecting the Ferrothorn to come back in. And this does not KO the Mega Pidgeot, even though I got a crit on it, which is kind of crazy. And he just ends up taking out my Latios. So here what I end up going for is Greninja, and now I'm guaranteed the Battle Bond, because a lot of his stuff is now weakened in his team. He's not going to switch into Tapu Koko, because if I go for Hydro Pump, it may go down after hazards. So what he's going to go for now is the Ferrothorn, because he could very well live a Dark Pulse from this Greninja and then just retaliate with Power Whip, and the Power Whip will definitely take me out, because Greninja is a very frail mon on the physical side. So what I'm going to do now is hard switch into this Ferrothorn. He ends up doubling here and going into the Easter Bunny, which is Azumarill. And here I had to risk it for the biscuit and go for Protect. Hope he's not a Belly Drum set, or Z Belly Drum set. Like, because the Z Belly Drum, what it does is that it'll restore its HP back to full and then get the Belly Drum off and cut its HP in half. So that's kind of crazy, in all honesty. Thankfully, because he went for Superpower, that tells me that it was not a Z Celebrating one, or not Z Celebrate, Z Belly Drum. Because if it was, he would have definitely gone for it right there. So he locks himself into Superpower. This gives me the impression that it's Choice Banded, by the way, because he did not he went for Superpower. Here I go into Tapu Koko. I take it very, very poorly. This confirmed that it was Choice Banded, because despite it not being stabbed and resisted, it was able to do that much damage to my Tapu Koko. So I was like, yeah, it's probably Choice Banded, not the Belly Drum, or even Belly Drum. So now I'm able to take out the Azumarill, which is excellent, because that thing was actually one of the biggest threats in this team, because if that thing manages to set up in any way, shape, or form, I lose. So he's going to go into Tapu Koko now. I assume that he wanted to risk the Speed Tie and just try to take me out with Thunderbolt, which it can. So I went into Ferrothorn to prevent that from happening. But what he ends up doing here is going for Z move, which turned out to be Mirror Move. It's because the thing was that I didn't even see what move was that he went for here. But it turns out it was Mirror Move, which I believe gives it +2 attack. And according to chat, supposedly it was also supposed to use the attack that I used last, but because I switched out, nothing happened. It just got the +2 and then nothing happened, which is actually kind of interesting, because who knows? If he hit me with something hard on this Ferrothorn, he might have been able to take me out with 2 Brave Birds, which could have been really, really bad, in all honesty. So, but thankfully none of that happened. It got +2, went for Brave Bird. It didn't do over half, thankfully, so I was able to get a Leech Seed off. Now here I'm going to go for Protect after going for Leech Seed, so I can get some Leech Seed HP recovery, as well as leftovers, so that I can at least guarantee that I'd survive another Brave Bird from this Tapu Koko that's at +2 in attack right now, which is crazy. And I think here he goes for one more Brave Bird, and it's gonna go down to not only recoil but also the Iron Bars. Iron Bars first, and then recoil later, and then he goes down. And then this pretty much leads into his last Pokemon, which is the what's it called, Ferrothorn. here, this part of the battle kind of drags a little bit because it's literally just Ferrothorn on Ferrothorn here. Ferrothorn on Ferrothorn. What happens here is that I'm gonna go for knockoff, just to, you know, get as much damage as possible. It's because what happened here is that I could not switch out into Greninja here to just go straight for the Dark Pulse, because if he predicts that and goes for Power Whip, I'll lose Greninja. My Tapu Koko I think is also weakened. It's like under half HP now, so if he goes for Power Whip, it may take that out as well. I think it went for Gyro Ball there too. I didn't pay attention, but Gyro Ball would have done it too. So I couldn't switch out here. So as a result, we had to kind of have some Ferrothorn on Ferrothorn action right here, just attacking each other until we both go down to the Iron Barbs. Which is exactly what happens. We both, I go for knockoff, I take out the Ferrothorn, but because of Iron Barbs, I lose Ferrothorn as well. Which is kind of crazy because these two Ferrothorns literally fought to the death, because they both go down as they both had to attack each other hands on, which is crazy. That's probably like the craziest thing in the battle, is that they both fought to the death, the Ferrothorns. So that's not only funny, but it's also kind of crazy. But yeah, that's the whole game right there. Good games to my man's Chad, TickleMeChad. Thank you for the battle once again. Kind of fun that I got to battle him once more. This is like the third time that I battled Chad, which is actually kind of interesting. Is he gonna be like the new person that actually battles me multiple times throughout a certain Pokemon game? Because remember in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, the only people I would battle a lot at the time was people like the Killer Nacho and Tesla Mouse. Then in Generations 7 in Pokemon Sun and Moon, I would battle the Killer Nacho once again a lot, and also 6 Foot Hacks a lot. But now here in Sun and Moon, it seems like TickleMeChad is the only person that I've been battling the most in this this day and age, which is actually kind of crazy. But yeah, that was pretty fun nonetheless. Good game once again, and thank you all for watching this battle. Hope to catch you guys in the next battle, but for now, just take it easy. Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments if you guys want to as well. But yeah, anyways, take it easy.